A burglar spends 2 hours inside a Taylorsville home, and what he did inside is all caught on camera.
Australians show overwhelming support for same-sex marriage on the same day an LDS apostle speaks about LGBTQ rights.
Welcome to 11 News at Noon. I'm Lennon Moore.
And I'm Jessica Coombs. Australia votes to make gay marriage legal, and just hours before, an apostle of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints speaks on LGBTQ rights.
11 News reporter Madison Heap joins us in the newsroom. Madison, what did Elder Ballard say?
Hey Landon, Elder Ballard spoke at yesterday's BYU devotional. He didn't speak specifically about the vote in Australia, but he did say the rights of citizenship should be protected for all people, including the LGBTQ community.
The church believes the best approach to balancing these rights is to protect the core rights of all groups and then find reasonable compromises in other areas where rights conflict. Everyone is entitled to love and respect.
The LDS Church encourages marriage between a man and a woman, but Elder Ballard says everyone is a child of God and God loves them no matter what. We actually have an openly gay BYU student here with us. Her name is Sabina. Sabina, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, of course.
I just have a few questions for you. Mainly, what did Elder Ballard's words mean to you?
As a gay BYU student and as a gay Mormon, it was really wonderful to hear his words supporting me as a person and just knowing that I am a child of God no matter what, because sometimes it's really hard for me to wrap my head around because it's so much conflict in that issue. And especially for the different other students at BYU who are not out to themselves and who are more uncomfortable in their own skin and knowing that they're gay and knowing that an apostle of the Lord has shown love to them brings me so much joy.
Absolutely. And what's it like for you to walk around campus, a very conservative campus, as an openly gay student?
Depends on the day, honestly. Some days I feel really proud to be different, really proud to be myself and share the message that it's okay to be different and it's okay to be gay and that you should love people like me. And then other days it's really hard and really terrifying knowing that people are maybe extrally watching me or waiting for me to slip up or judging me just based on who I am and not actually knowing or based on who I am attracted to and not who I am.
Great. Thank you so much for being here with us today. We really appreciate it. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Madison. A former karate instructor from Davis County will appear in court today for sexually abusing a teenage girl. 20-year-old Damian Tyler Fulmer was booked into Davis County Jail Monday afternoon. He is accused of sexually abusing one of his karate students. He is charged with 5 counts of rape of a child and 1 count of sexual exploitation of a minor.
A jogger stabs her would-be groper, and the police need your help finding him. The groper attacked the woman who was jogging in Salt Lake in the area of 1700 South and 5th East on Friday morning. However, the jogger carried a knife and was able to chase the groper and stab him a few times before he ran away. Police have checked local hospitals for the groper and are doing DNA analysis on the blood found on the jogger's blade. Police are asking anyone who has any information about the attack or the groper to call 801-799-3000.
Police are warning people to always travel in groups after a sexual assault in Provo's Rock Canyon. 11 News reporter Charlie Young is here. Charlie, have police caught the suspect?
Yes, they have, and a woman is feeling pretty lucky after she went hiking with her friends and had a scary confrontation.
After she started up the trail with friends, she decided she was going to double back and use the restroom before getting too far into her hike, and she was confronted by an armed man in the restroom.
He had a knife.
That person brandished the knife at her and assaulted her, held it against her, and attempted to commit a robbery demanding money from her.
But when she didn't have any money, he tried to sexually assault her.
There were some contact offenses. He ordered her to begin disrobing, and he touched her with his hand, we're told.
But while he was doing this, she had a plan of her own.
She had the presence of mind to surreptitiously dial her cell phone and call one of her hiking companions.
That friend came to her rescue. The 2 girls were able to describe the attacker, and police created a sketch. That sketch was published along with a physical description of the man on Friday. Not long after the information was released, Provo police were able to find and arrest 34-year-old Wayne Ray Lees Jr.
He was charged with an attempted robbery and a sexual assault, 1st and 2nd degree felonies, and he is being held at the Utah County Jail.
Lieutenant Taylor told me they are positive they have the right man in custody, and they couldn't have made the arrest without the help of BYU police.
Police say a Mapleton father shot and killed his wife and children and then himself. Mapleton police say 45-year-old Timothy Griffith used 2 guns, one to kill his family and the other to take his own life. Griffith bought the guns in September after he and his family moved to Utah from Switzerland. He was found dead Thursday along with his 42-year-old wife Jessica Griffith, 16-year-old stepdaughter Samantha Bedell, and 5-year-old son Alexander Griffith. The family dog was also killed.
Instead of breaking in, stealing items, and getting out quickly, a burglar in Taylorsville takes his time. Take a look at these photos. Unified Police say a man broke into a home in Taylorsville on November 10th. For 2 hours, the thief tried on clothes, looked through personal items, and even went through the fridge. When the homeowner returned, the burglar jumped out of a window and stole her car. The burglar is described as a Caucasian man in his 30s, 5'9" with tattoos. The car is a dark green 2004 Honda Element with Utah license plate Z454US. If anyone has any information, call the Unified Police at 801-743-7000.
There's a lot of pressure on Congress to pass tax reform before the end of the year. 11 News reporter Sabrina Riley talked with Utah Senator Mike Lee to find out the latest in Washington.
For families like the Lamonts.
I'm Brooke Lamont, and I have 5 kids. And my husband, Matt Lamont, is a medical resident at the University of Utah.
A little can go a long way.
It's hard because we have medical school debt, which is really overwhelming. And so this money is just good for helping us with basic things.
And when it comes to raising 5 children,
clothes for them for school, shoes for school.
Every penny counts. Something Senator Mike Lee understands, and why this congressional season he's fighting for families.
The family is the fundamental unit of society.
Leaders in Washington are hard at work to pass tax reform as the end of the year approaches.
The Senate Finance Committee this week is reviewing the Senate bill and doing what's called a markup, which is where individual members of the committee are able to submit proposed changes to the plan.
Senator Lee, alongside Florida Senator Marco Rubio, are proposing a plan to fix a so-called glitch in the tax system.
There's a lesser-known, more subtle feature in the tax code that we refer to as the parent tax penalty. America's parents end up contributing to the senior entitlement programs twice.
First, as they pay taxes, and again as they raise their children. Senator Lee wants to raise the child tax credit from $1,000 to $2,000. Compared to the $300,000 the Department of Agriculture says it takes to raise a child, it's really not that much.
This per child tax credit that I'm talking about is a drop in the bucket compared to what people spend in raising their children.
Recognizing Utah has one of the highest dependents claim per tax return, some may argue Lee is only fighting for his people.
Whether they live in Utah or Montana, Maryland, Massachusetts, any other state, they shouldn't be punished by the federal government for having children.
He believes the family's overlooked in Washington.
America's moms and dads don't have an army of lobbyists, much like America's corporations do.
While change is not always easy, Lee is hopeful that compromise is on the horizon.
We've got to make sure that we're doing something, and something significant, for hardworking middle-class families throughout America.
And his reform will bring relief for American families like the Lamonts. In Highland, Sabrina Riley, 11 News.
The 2017 election is barely over, but people are already looking forward to the 2018 election.
There's an online petition encouraging Mitt Romney to run for the Utah Senate seat. 11 News reporter Allison Caffrey joins us now. Allison, what do people think about Romney's potential return to politics?
Well, there's been a lot of talk lately about former presidential candidate Mitt Romney taking a spot on the Utah ballot in the 2018 election. One person who feels strongly about that is Dan Hemmert, the Utah State Senator from Orem.
It's exactly what our country needs.
Utah State Senator Dan Hemmert says Mitt Romney's decades of business experience and dedication to serving others make him a great leader. So he started Recruit Romney, a grassroots petition to urge Romney to run for the Utah Senate seat if incumbent Senator Orrin Hatch chooses to not seek re-election.
The Recruit Romney concept came from reading in the news a lot about our Senate seat. I thought, you know what, why don't we start something from within Utah, hopefully get someone to run that I think would represent Utah well in Washington, D.C.
Without any marketing dollars spent and a website that has only been live for 5 days, the petition has already received thousands of signatures.
This all kind of cascaded really fast.
Utahns have shown support for Romney in the past. They voted overwhelmingly in favor of him in the 2012 presidential election. He received 72.6% of the votes. But not everyone is excited by the possibility of Romney's return to Utah politics.
Actually, there's been more positive than negative for sure, but there has been some negative.
I think Mitt's time in politics is left.
And I don't think that he's what Utah needs.
The former governor of Massachusetts now lives in Utah, which means he does meet the requirements to run for the Senate seat.
Romney has yet to comment on the petition or his plans to seek election. He will need to make a decision by the filing deadline, which is March 15th, 2018. If you are interested in signing the petition, visit recruitromney.com. Reporting for 11 News, I'm Allison Caffrey.
The FBI joins the search for a killer on the loose. He escaped from a mental institution in Hawaii and hopped on a plane. We'll tell you where he may be now.
Taser, stop!
A man gets tackled and tased while trying to escape from a court hearing, and it's all caught on video.
That everyone in the world gets the opportunity to learn as much.
How a business created by BYU students is changing lives overseas.
Video captured in Phoenix, Arizona last night. It is out of this world.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to SaveTheFood.com.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
Zimbabwe's military takes control of the nation, but insists it is not a coup.
The president of Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe, has not been seen in public since the takeover started early this morning. Mugabe is reportedly under house arrest and is safe, according to the army. There is significant army presence at the international airport, and there are army checkpoints around the capital city of Harare. Zimbabwe's military is also in control of state TV.
An admitted killer escaped from a mental institution in Hawaii and is still on the loose. Psychopathic killer Randall Saito walked out of the state hospital Sunday at 9 a.m. He was empty-handed but still managed to catch a cab and go to a park where he found a backpack full of supplies. Saito then took a flight to California. An FBI search is currently underway to find him. Police say if anyone sees Saito, they should not approach him, but call 911 immediately. The wife of the California man who went on a shooting spree yesterday is found dead in her home today. 43-year-old Kevin Neal killed 4 people and injured 10 others in a shooting spree across 7 locations in Northern California. Neal's mother says he called her a day earlier and told her that he was finished feuding with the small rural community where he lived. Neal was shot and killed by police. 3 UCLA basketball players are back in the U.S. Police detained the players in China after they were accused of shoplifting designer sunglasses. Their arrest coincided with President Trump's visit to China. He arranged the release of the players while he was there. The team will play against Central Arkansas this evening.
A suspect appearing in a Kentucky court case gets tased after trying to escape. Check out this video.
Taser!
Derek Wright is the man in the red jumpsuit. After finding out that he was going to jail, he made a run for it. A deputy brings him down, but when Wright won't stop fighting, he tases him. Wright is now facing new charges after hitting one deputy in the face. The FDA approves the first digital drug with a built-in tracking device. The Abilify MySight has an ingestible sensor that records when the medication is taken. The medication is meant to treat adults with schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and depression. The sensor is the size of a grain of sand and is activated when it comes in contact with fluids in the stomach. The sensor then communicates to the MySight patch and is digested and eliminated from the body. Meanwhile, the patch records when the medication is taken and physiological data such as the patient's activity level. People magazine names this year's sexiest man alive country music star Blake Shelton. Shelton was shocked by the announcement, and so was the public. Shelton's fans agreed with the choice, while others were confused by the magazine's decision. Shelton says he will brag about this win to his fellow voice judge, Adam Levine, who was named People's Sexiest Man Alive in 2013.
Charter school enrollment in Utah grew by 5.7% this year. With the growing popularity in charter school education, 11 News reporter Katie Karras looked into alternative schooling in our state.
When it comes to public schooling, parents and students might feel like they're stuck with only one option. But what many don't know is that there's a whole list of choices available for them.
New Ames opened 12 years ago as one of the first public charter schools in Utah. Now almost 130 charter schools reach across the state. New Ames Director of Business Operations Nate Taggart says the charter experience is unique.
But what we're able to offer here that you don't get somewhere else is we're an early college high school. It's right here on Weber State's campus. We've got a great partnership with them. Students are able to go to college classes while they're going to high school.
Charter schools are tuition-free independent public schools open to any Utah student. They follow public school guidelines, open to the public, funded by the public, and accountable to the public.
Schools are a choice, private schools are a choice, traditional public schools are a choice. And I would encourage parents to find out what best fits the educational experience for their children.
Assistant Principal Steve Davis says New Ames prides itself in STEM education, focusing on science, technology, engineering, and math. Charter schools are typically application-based because of enrollment limits, but Davis says any student can be successful in a charter school environment.
I believe every student could be successful as long as they have the dedication and the determination to do what it takes to make those academic strides for them.
For 4 years in a row, New Ames has the highest test scores in Utah. The school saw a 13% increase in SAGE testing and a full point increase in ACT scores over the last 3 years. Davis also says small class sizes and teacher dedication helps raise those scores.
So before you give up on public education, look at your choices. You might end up with some A+ options. For 11 News, I'm Katie Karras.
Thank you, Katie.
3 BYU students are grateful for the education they are receiving and are helping others to receive theirs in another country. 11 News reporter Mackenzie McCoy looked into how students are helping students. Mackenzie, tell us more about this foundation.
Their project is called Brighten Africa. The founders recognized a major need for education, and so I met with the founders to discuss how they're creating a brighter future for the people of Africa. Brighten Africa teaches high school and college-age students in Ghana web development and other helpful skills. Founder Brighton Kreiser served his mission in Ghana 2.5 years ago. He took away from his mission a deep love for the Ghanan people, but also a desire to help them get the training they need to provide for themselves. During his mission, Kreiser met a man named Augustine who taught himself web development, and he was the inspiration behind Brighten Africa.
We started working on trying to find a way for him to share these skills that he learned from web development and other computer programming skills, to share that with other people so that they would be able to widen their job market.
Kreiser went to Ghana this past summer and found a building to rent for 2 years as a school. Computers have been donated, students have signed up for classes.
Improve and further our education in school.
Co-founder Whitney Larson says Brighten Africa helps those that wouldn't otherwise be able to get an education.
Important to me, and I think to Brighton and Boone on the team as well, that everyone in the world gets the opportunity to learn as much as they can so that they can provide for themselves and be self-reliant.
Right now, they are working on expanding their team, preparing another trip, and raising money for more resources. Kreiser says he hopes
for this to impact people's lives and their families, where they won't have to think what they're going to eat tomorrow, but they will know that their job market is not just Ghana, but they have the potential to work throughout the whole world without leaving Africa.
Brighten Africa is very happy with the things that they've been able to accomplish and can only hope that their project will continue to grow so that they can create a brighter future for themselves and also for the people in Africa. Mackenzie McCoy reporting 11 News. Back to you.
Folks in Phoenix, Arizona got a few extra seconds of light. This suspected meteor flew across the sky last night and burst through the atmosphere. This video you're seeing was captured by a security camera overlooking the city. If you watch closely, you can see a smaller ball of fire flying parallel to it. According to the American Meteor Society, 77 reports of meteors were reported on Tuesday. This one you are watching, though, is the largest of the ones that were seen there in Phoenix, Arizona. So that was a pretty cool thing that the people in Arizona were able to see last night. Unfortunately, there's not a lot to see today because we are all covered in clouds. There's not going to be a lot of sun today, so unfortunately you're not going to be able to soak up those rays. But one thing you're going to be able to enjoy is staying dry. So hopefully you enjoy that today because that's not going to be the case as we go forward. 52 degrees here in Provo, overcast, but it should be a good day if you take a light jacket to get outside and enjoy these cooler temperatures. So if we look across the state, things are looking pretty normal today. They're going to be in the 50s, 60s across Utah, so there's nothing to worry about. So take that jacket outside and enjoy these last days of fall, as we will have some moisture coming in tomorrow. So like I said, 50s, 60s across Utah for the high today. If we look at the state lows, it's going to be, one thing that's interesting is it's going to be 51 tonight in Salt Lake City, and down there in St. George is 45 degrees. So that's pretty interesting. If we look across the state, though, for the 5-day forecast, it's going to be pretty nice in in southern Utah. And one thing I wanted to let you know about is Friday and Saturday. They're going to be experiencing some wind. As we look across the Wasatch Front, though, one thing I just wanted to let you know is tomorrow we're going to be raining. Friday, there's going to be rain in the morning. That'll transfer into snow. And so we just want to make sure everybody's prepared that tomorrow there's going to be a lot of rain. I think like 77 or 70% chance of rain. So make sure you bundle up, bring that raincoat. You're going to need it.
Yeah, honestly, it hasn't even felt like winter yet. And honestly, the weather makes it look like baseball season. It'll still be another 4 months before the team officially starts. I'll show you what the team is doing to prepare. Both the men's and women's basketball team are in action tonight. I will show you what to expect from the Cougars.
I dare you. I dare you to change the world. Yeah, you. Getting that college education.
I dare you to be somebody important.
Like be a teacher or a reality TV star.
I dare you to stand up here.
To call the shots.
To be a role model.
An inspiration. An innovator.
To be a teacher.
Think you can change my life?
Make me excited about science like you?
Have a career that really means something?
Then do it.
I dare you.
The BYU baseball regular season is actually exactly 4 months away from today, but the Cougars are in full swing preparing for the preseason that starts in early February. Cougars made the first step by naming their 2017-18 season team captains. Senior second baseman Brennan Anderson, junior outfielder Keaton Kringling, and senior pitcher Hayden Rogers all were named. Last season, the Cougars went 38-21 overall. Last season, they finished 20-7 in the WCC. They were coming off a season that they were ranked 26th and were eliminated from the first round in the NCAA tournament. The BYU men's and women's basketball team are on the road for the first time in the regular season. Both teams looking to continue winning after they picked up wins against SUU and Mississippi Valley State last weekend. The women's team in Seattle today to take on Washington University at 7 p.m. The Cougars then take on Eastern Washington on Saturday at 10:45 a.m. Both those games will be streamed online at pac12.com and the Big Sky Conference website. The men's team will have their first true test tonight as they take on Princeton Tigers at 7 p.m. Last year, the Cougars beat the Tigers in the Marriott Center. Saturday, BYU comes home against UT Arlington. This will be a bitter moment as last season the Broncos knocked them out of the NIT first round. Saturday's game will be on BYU TV. BYU may not be in the college football national picture, but things are really starting to get good as two teams dropped out of the top four with their losses. Take a look at last week's top four. Both Notre Dame and Georgia lost in blowouts. Here are the new playoff bracket. Now, as you can see, Alabama moved up to first, Clemson into second, Miami also up from 7 and now number 3. And then, of course, Alabama snuck in as well. The only undefeated team being left out is Wisconsin. The Jazz are, of course, heading to the East for this upcoming road trip this weekend. They're expected to hopefully pick up some wins. Big question mark is that the Jazz have not won a game on the road this season. The schedule will be the Knicks, the Magic, and of course the 76ers. Gobert and Johnson will not be playing because of injuries. The team is excited for the road trip. Derek Favors says he's excited for more team bonding. Jazz tip-off tonight at 5:30. For more BYU sports stories and highlights, tune in Friday for our Y Sports Show at noon. We'll be right back.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
A giant diamond necklace catches the world's eye when it sold for nearly $34 million at the Christie auction in Geneva yesterday.
This stunning necklace holds a 163-carat diamond at the center. The diamond was discovered in Angola. The necklace also contains 18 smaller diamonds and 2 rows of pearl-shaped green emeralds.
That's your 11 News at noon for November 15th, 2017.
For more information on our stories or to share them with your friends, check out our website at 11news.byu.edu.
Thanks for joining us and have a great day.